Okay, it's giving Trixer for Kids realness.
It was just a lease, right around town till I leave. I gave that boy a rounds, but I'm back to the street like la da di da di da. Yeah, I said I'm back to the streets like la da di da di da. Back to the streets, so clean when I pull up to the scene.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be using the Playing in Makeup by Yolondo x Beats by Deb palette, the Beatdown palette. And sorry I haven't been posting lately. I was dealing with some issues with my allergies because the Florida weather has been out of control lately. It's been cold and warm, like all of this, it's ridiculous, and my allergies have been so out of whack. But I'm going to be back to posting now, so make sure you subscribe and you follow me on all my social media accounts so you don't miss a video or content. Right now I'm just doing my brows with the Morphe brow pencil in Java, and then after that I'm going to be using the clear brow gel. And they both come in the Arch Obsessions kit, and it's probably like my favorite combination of products to use for my brows, because that brow gel, yo, it keeps them in place so long. And I don't know if you noticed in the beginning of the video, but I made an intro, and I really like it. I feel like it adds a little bit more to my videos, and it makes them look more professional instead of like the video just starting off with me doing my makeup. To prime my eyelids, I'm using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer and a blending brush and just packing it on, and then I take some of the excess product off of my brush to be able to blend it naturally underneath my brow and then on the sides of my eyelids. After I make sure everything is blended out and patted into perfection, there's no creases, I go in with the Maybelline Fit Me powder just to set it. Next, I'm using my ColourPop blending brush and going into the shade Mean Girl for the inner corner of my eye, and I'm just blending it out using small circular motions. I blended out the color as far as I wanted it to. I took a clean blending brush, which is from the same Ultimate Brush Roll that all of the other ColourPop brushes are from, and blended out the edges to make sure it was more seamless. And I wasn't happy with the color payoff, so I went in with Cosmetology from the same palette, which is just like a darker pink, and I tried to deepen the crease a little bit more. I tried to finesse this pink as far as I wanted to because the next color I was using was My Slime. So after I was done with the pink, I had to clean off my brush completely to use My Slime to use on the other eye. And in the lighting at first, it literally looks like there's nothing there. But it was because I switched the lights on my ring light. But once I start to blend it out more, then you'll see the color. I had to go in a couple of times for this color, but I really can't complain because it's a light neon color. And just for warning for the rest of the video, if you see me talking or my lips moving, it's because I was on FaceTime for a part of this while I was recording, and clearly I was talking to the person I was on FaceTime with, but it looks like I'm just like talking to myself. And for every single color that I used in my crease, I did the same method where I blended out the color as much as I wanted the color to go, and then I took the same blending brush that I cleaned after every time I used it to buff out the edges to get a more seamless blend. The next color I'm going in with is a blue color called Slow and Reverb, and at first I wasn't really happy with the color payoff, so I ended up dipping into a little bit of the shade Lucid Dreams, which is a darker blue in that palette, because like you see here, it's not as dark as I wanted it, as I like my outer crease colors, so I don't show it on camera, but I dipped into it a little bit just to darken it up. And the next shade I'm going in with is Frieza, and the same thing on this side. I wasn't happy with the color payoff at first, so then I dipped into a shade called Summer Nights, which is a darker purple. And I just want to say, if you go to recreate this look, it's so important that you go in order from lightest to darkest, because let's say you do the purple and blue, like obviously you're cleaning off your brush before each shadow, but it's not going to be 100% clean. So when you go in, like say you do Frieza and then you go to do My Slime, which is the lime green color, that lime green color is gonna like have a tint of brown because the purple isn't 100% off of the brush. So just like a heads up, if you go to do this, you need to like be mindful of that. So after I blended out all of my crease colors, I used this flat ColourPop brush that also came in the brush roll to pack on the outer corner color so that when I do my cut crease, it blends evenly. And this is a brush I usually use for my concealer for my brows, but I also use it to do the concealer for my cut creases. And the important part for me about doing cut creases is to make sure you keep your eyes open so you can see where the line is going to be. And I kept this clip in the video because I felt like it showed it more easier than the other eye. But I alternate like opening my eye, closing my eye, just to make sure that I'm putting the line where it needs to be and not putting it up too high. Like my favorite thing to do is cut creases, so I've gotten good at them, and my eyes aren't essentially hard to do cut creases on. So I can't speak for everyone, but the easiest method for me is to do it like that. Then I'm using this like random brush that I have, and Leilani, which is a color from the same palette, and I'm just using it to kind of like set the concealer, but also the like glitter-ish pigment that I'm putting on top of it is like a white iridescent color. So I wanted to make sure that the base was as white as possible before I went in with that shadow. And then for the glitter, I'm using the shade Ranch on a Jaclyn Hill Morphe brush, and it's my favorite brush to use for glitter and shimmers. And I'm putting it right on top of that white. And I'm not taking it all the way because I'm going to take the purple and blue and blend them back into the white, but I don't want the shimmer to be blended in with it because then it gets everywhere. And I use the same brush to do the crease colors, like the same one brush to use for all 4 colors, and then the same brush to do the purple and blue to blend it into the white on each side. So don't think that you need like 100 brushes to do this. Like, no you don't, sis. After I cleaned up the fallout from underneath my eye, I went in with my primer, which is the Tarte Double Duty Hydrating Primer. And this time I used my hands. The last time I used a brush and it was just not working right. So I used my hands this time and really blended it in and got it in there. And I'm actually using a different foundation that I've used in my previous videos. It's by Juvia's Place, the Velvety Matte Foundation, and it's in the shade Capri. And then I'm using the foundation brush from the ColourPop brush roll, which I haven't used this foundation brush yet, so I really enjoyed how it came out. It was really pretty. The only issue is that this color is like my summer color, and I'm sure you think, oh, you live in Florida, like summer is Florida all year round. Like, no, it's not. We still have winter. We still have cloudy days. So it's a little bit dark than I would have preferred, but it's not that crazy. And then I went in with my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I'm using the same brush that I used to do my cut crease, and then going in with my Real Techniques brush to pat it out and blend it. I've used this method in all of my videos and I've explained it several times, but basically you just tap it in and then drag it across, and it looks like, look at that side compared to the other side, it looks way more snatched. You can't tell me nothing. And this time I didn't conceal my brows before I put foundation down, so I'm just putting a little bit of concealer on my chin and then in the middle of my forehead just to give it a little bit of a highlight. When I conceal my brows, I don't really need to do that, but I did just to add some dimension. After I blended the concealer all the way out, made sure there were no creases, I used this brush that I have and used the Fit Me powder. And I'm really trying to make sure I hold the palette or mirror, whatever I'm using, out of the camera lens so you can see what I'm doing. I'm getting better, I really am, but it's still something to get used to. Then I'm going in with this flat contour brush, I want to say. It's from Morphe. I got it in this haul of a bunch of stuff. And then I'm using the 8R That's Rich face palette, and I was singing, literally ignore me. And then I'm also using a pointed contour brush, and I used the flat contour brush to put the contour color onto my cheekbone. and then use the pointed contour brush to blend it out. Like literally you're gonna watch me like, okay, ignore this part, I covered my face, but see, I fixed it and then I fixed it again. Like I'm still trying to get used to it. It's a process. And because I switched my lights around, I look more orange than I actually am. Like in pictures and videos and stuff, this foundation shade does not look that off for me. Then I'm using a Morphe flat blush brush in the lighter blush color in the 8R That's Rich palette and using it as my blush. And I am so sorry for this clip, y'all, but seriously, I don't know what's wrong with me and the fact that I can't keep the palette out of the camera lens. I'm working. Listen, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Next, I'm using this random brush that I have that I wish I knew what company or brand it was because it's such a good brush, but I like to use it for my under eye shadow. And I'm using my slime, which is the green, first because that's the lightest color. And then I'm cleaning it off on my hand, but like clearly I don't show you guys that because I cut it out. But then next I'm going in with Mean Girls, which is the next lightest color. It's the pink. And then after, I'm taking it as far as I want to because when I put the purple, I can't go back and blend it with the pink. The same thing with the green. Then I'm using Slow and Reverb, and the same thing, I took the green far enough over that when I use the blue, all I have to do is blend it out and it'll look seamless. Then the last color I'm using is Frieza, which is the lightest purple that I used, and the same thing, I blend it into the pink. Next, I'm using an O4X NYX Tutorials highlighter compact. It's the Everglow one, and I'm using the rose gold color on a Real Techniques fan brush for my face highlighter. And then for my inner corner highlighter, I'm using the lightest white highlighter shade in that compact and a Morphe pencil brush, I think it's called. For my face highlight, I like to put highlighter on the top of my cheekbones, the top of my eyebrows, the tip of my nose, and then the middle parts of both my top lip and bottom lip, just because I like how it highlights and makes your lips look bigger. And then the middle of my chin, and sometimes I'll do the middle of my forehead. If I don't put highlighter over my eyebrows, then I put it in the middle of my forehead. Like, do you see how pretty that highlighter is? Like, this is my favorite highlighter to use for like a blinding highlight. And I'm using this Morphe setting spray because I got it for free when I got all this Morphe stuff. And I'm using these lashes. They're from the Princess collection. And I'm going to link their Instagram in my bio because these lashes are so pretty. Like, do you see that? And I used the Duo Lash Glue, the blue one. And I'm testing out the different Duo Lash Glues. And I don't know how I feel about this one. Then I'm going in with a Laura Geller volumizing mascara. It was my first time using it. And I have to say it was really pretty. It looked really nice on my bottom lashes. For my lips, I'm using the Milani lip liner in shade Sugar Plum, and then for my lipstick, I'm using this company in the shade Can't Relate. And I just want to say before I get any hate in the comments, I got this in the Conspiracy palette, which I used earlier for the shade Ranch. I got as gifts, and the setting spray that I just used, I got for free from Morphe, which I already said. So baby, before y'all come for me, I'm just trying to put that out there now. And it's crazy, I've gotten so good at lining my lips, I could probably do it like with my eyes closed. And I personally like to accentuate my Cupid's bow. I know a lot of people don't and will just like connect them at the top, but I think it looks cute. Then when I use the lip liner, I put some in the actual lip part in the corners of my lips. And then when I put on the lipstick, I try to keep it in the center just to because it makes your lips look bigger. As always, if you think there's anything I should change about the way I do my makeup or my lighting or setup or whatever, leave it down in the comments below. I'm gonna link all of my social media and the company I got the lashes from. And yeah, that's the final look. I hope you enjoy it. If you recreate it, please send it to me. Thanks.